So can we just talk about white privilege? So the idea for this video came to me while I was driving around the ring road. So in between panic attacks and deep breathing, trying to ground myself every time I overtook a car because I was so scared of getting run over, I just noticed that all the ads on the ring road that were advertising for compounds, most of them, if not all, had English names. Not English names, most of them had foreign names, like Italian names, English names, whatever. And I was like, okay, for an Arabic speaking country, it's a bit weird. But then I noticed most of the ads, if they did have people, they have either foreigners or people with Eurocentric features. So if you see my video about growing up in Ireland as an immigrant, you'll see that I've discussed that growing up in a predominantly white area where I look different, I didn't feel seen or heard because nobody in the ads or around me looked like me. Then I started to realize, like, we're still quite a racist country here. Racism really is alive and well in the world. When my parents went to Ireland in the early 90s, they were called immigrants. When you hear the word immigrants, what image spreads to mind? What image crops up in your mind? Brown people coming to the country trying to steal jobs, okay? When a white person, like from the UK or whatever, comes to a brown country like India or Egypt or whatever, what are they called? Expats, which is short for expatriates. What image or what connotations does the term expats conjure? Oh, like a white person who just had to leave his lovely country to bestow us with his grace in our brown pobble country. It's just so bad because at the end of the day, we're both economic migrants, but one is called an immigrant and one is called an expat. And it's just so annoying. It pisses me off because they're, at the end of the day, they're the same thing, but they just have different names and different connotations. It's bizarre. I find it bizarre. And then in countries like Egypt and India, post-colonial countries especially. So if two people applied for, say, a teaching job in Cairo, both are Oxford graduates, one is European, one is not. Most likely, I could guarantee they will definitely employ the European looking teacher just because having European or white looking people just gives credibility and more weight to an institution in this country because we're still so messed up from centuries of colonization. We still feel that white is better, but realistically, like white countries, how did they get rich? How did Great Britain get rich? They just colonized the whole world. How did Belgium get rich? King Leopold was chopping off the hands of all the Congolese and there's rubber plantations, and that's where Belgium's wealth was made from. How did the other countries get rich? Why do you think there's a war in Congo now? Because everyone's just grabbing Africa's resources. Africa, by continent, probably has the most abundant resources in the entire world, but all of Europe basically are just, taking it and feeding their own countries and making their countries good. And in the end, they leave the African countries struggling and it's like, oh, yeah, you're not good enough. But like the only reason they're not good enough is because they allow people who are corrupt in power because it allows them to grab their resources a bit more. If you want to get more into it, because obviously I'm not the right person to talk about this, but look up Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It's a documentary on YouTube. It's just oh my God, mind blowing. So anyway, we still have this notion where white is better and it's seen everywhere. Even in the UN and multilateral organizations, they get people on super good packages here. They pay for their child's schooling, they pay for their rent, blah, blah, blah. Then they get someone who does a similar job, but they're someone local from the country, and they get 10% of what the European person gets paid. It's not fair. And it's not just in NGOs and humanitarian, it's everywhere. How many finance bros have you seen over the years who are oh, you can make €1 million in a year, just do this? And what's their blueprint? What's their amazing idea? Basically, they have a company that does graphic design. This was before ChatGPT probably took over all of these jobs in the first place. They had graphic design, people making websites, content creation, writing, blah, blah, blah. They just hire loads of people from poorer countries like India and Pakistan, okay? They got them to do all the work for them. All they did was put a white face on their brand or company and then have all these poor people work for him for pennies while he was getting paid big bucks to European clients. Because sadly, if Kumar from India, who was working under this tech bro or whoever it is who was employing him, was to market his own skills to the white market, they'd be like, no, I'm not paying you thousands of euro. You're from India. Here, take like $20. And that's just a sad reality. So a lot of people have monetized on this white privilege as well, even in like the influencer sphere as well. So there's this girl I follow. She's Irish, she's married to Pakistani, and she lives in Pakistan. And all she does is basically show up to these like hotels and restaurants, and she gets paid to do it. Why? Because she's blonde, blue eyes, she's white. Like if a Pakistani girl came to Ireland and she's like, yeah, I'm an influencer, how many followers would she get? Actually, I probably would follow that just to see, because I would find it interesting. She probably would get followers, but I don't think like restaurants and hotels would be like inviting Pakistani people in Ireland who just moved here to like come and review their restaurants and give them money for it. Like it just doesn't work that way. So whiteness does sell. And like I've no problem with like people who come to countries like Egypt and become influencers who are European or white, because most of the time they're offering services, or they're like, reviewing stuff, or offering services, or doing something. So fair play to them. It's just like the people who are making money of just simply being white in a brown country. I just think it's so bizarre. I find it so bizarre, but it seems to be doing well. All these people have loads of followers, so maybe I'm missing something here, but I just think it's absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that's my little rant about white privilege of all the things I've seen recently. Let me know if you agree, or maybe I'm being a bit like, I don't know, too riled up about this, but let me know. And yeah, okay, bye.